William and Harry's reunion following Prince Philip's funeral would have truly warmed Diana's heart, a royal biographer has claimed. The estranged brothers spoke to each other after leaving their grandfather Philip's funeral at St. George's Chapel, Windsor Castle, on Saturday. Harry was initially seen speaking to his sister-in-law Kate Middleton, but she then appeared to hang back so he could talk to William for a few moments without her. Andrew Morton, who famously penned Princess Diana's blockbuster biography in 1992, has said the brief chat was the first sign of a possible reconciliation. The princes had taken part in their funeral procession earlier in the day as they walked either side of their cousin Peter Phillips behind the Duke of Edinburgh's coffin. It was the first time they appeared in public together for more than a year. The brothers' discussion came following an impromptu decision by some of the royal family to walk back to the castle, despite state cars having been put on for them, and it gave the cameras a chance to see them talk. But royal biographer Andrew believes their spontaneous chat would have pleased their mother. He wrote in The Sun, "What would have truly warmed Diana's heart is that William and Harry, who did not even glance at one another during the procession with other royal men, did speak to one another at the conclusion of the funeral service, the first time they had met face-to-masked face in a year." Their 5-minute chat was the first sign of a possible reconciliation since Harry and Meghan's bombshell Oprah Winfrey interview more than a month ago. Harry's friend Tom Bradby, who was presenting ITV's coverage of the funeral, said, "Funerals are a time of reconciliation and that a sight, let's be honest, that many wanted to see. Not least the family itself." About an hour earlier, the Duke of Cambridge entered the chapel one place ahead of his younger brother, and the brothers were seated opposite one another during the service, with William next to his wife Kate. William and Harry, who both wore black suits, had looked somber as they walked in silence behind the specially adapted Land Rover carrying their grandfather's coffin as it made its way to the chapel. It had been quietly hoped that the loss of their beloved grandfather, who both men loved deeply, might start the process of rapprochement, but the brothers are not thought to have seen each other before the funeral. By Julie James, body language expert ahead of the funeral, Harry appeared to be performing the body language of subtle bravado, looking about and even chatting to some of the royal behind him, but looking less confident as he emerged to walk behind his grandfather's coffin. While William strode looking straight ahead and giving nothing away in terms of any acknowledgement of his brother, Harry performed a couple of self-comfort rituals that hinted at levels of suppressed anxiety. Pulling at his waistcoat, he also performed the shoulder roll in the actual chapel, a gesture that can imply someone is bracing themselves and trying to boost their own confidence. The moment of connection between William and Harry came right at the end of the service, as they left the chapel. In a well-coordinated but also relatively natural-looking moment, Harry walked up behind William and Kate to then join them, walking between them and chatting to them both. After a few seconds of what looked like natural and not self-conscious conversation, Kate fell back, leaving the two brothers walking off talking alone. It looked like a genuine moment of unity rather than something contrived for the cameras. Saturday marked the first time Harry and William have been seen together since March 2020, when they attended a Commonwealth service at Westminster Abbey with other royals and could barely look each other in the eye. Speaking about the brothers' conversation today, body language expert Julie James told Mail Online, "The moment of connection between William and Harry came right at the end of the service, as they left the chapel. In a well-coordinated but also relatively natural-looking moment, Harry walked up behind William and Kate to then join them, walking between them and chatting to them both. After a few seconds of what looked like natural and not self-conscious conversation, Kate fell back, leaving the two brothers walking off talking alone. It looked like a genuine moment of unity rather than something contrived for the cameras." Royal aides have been walking on eggshells as they try to navigate the rift between the brothers, sources said last night, as tensions remain following Harry and Meghan's acrimonious split from the royal family last year. Relations were further soured by the couple's explosive interview with Oprah Winfrey last month, in which they attacked senior royals while Philip, who died on April 9 at the age of 99, lay in hospital in London. And it is likely to have been a particularly difficult day for the brothers and evoke memories of having to walk behind their mother Princess Diana's coffin in September 1997, when they were aged just 15 and 13. Insiders have stressed that the arrangement involving the positioning of the brothers in the funeral procession should not be taken as a sign that William and Harry refused to walk alongside each other. Asked beforehand whether arrangements for the procession reflected the royal siblings' relationship, a Buckingham Palace spokesman said, "This is a funeral, we're not going to be drawn into those perceptions of drama, or anything like that. This is a funeral. The arrangements have been agreed, and they represent Her Majesty's wishes, so we're not going to say anything more on that."